Manatee Fact Podcast, Episode 1. Here, beneath the warm crystalline waters of America's Gulf Coast, ancient colonies of potato-like manatees drift to and fro peacefully. And though the occasional indifferent speedboat may collide with the occasional big snuffly snout, for the manatee it is largely a life of uselessness, idleness, and torpor. Outside, human civilization moves ever forward, producing complex derivative financial products and Manatee Fact podcasts, while here, manatee civilization progresses not at all. The waves lap, the shipwrecks twinkle, and the creature's intolerable piercing song reverberates from seawall to seawall. Yet as manatees become increasingly land-based, all of this is beginning to change. Here in New York City, a new crop of manatee lawyers, proctologists, and other sensible lifeless middle-tier professionals threatens to alter the landscape of the United States economy. With recent species desegregation of 2 of the city's top 10 universities, student bodies are becoming noticeably greyer and more maritime.
Today, we are going to be talking about the order of operations. What are the order of operations?
The changes here have been so staggering that some residents, when speaking, now add a T to Manhattan. People watching cafe-dwelling tea sippers report seeing increasing quantities of briefcase-sporting sea life heading down the streets to work.
We see manatees and we see dolphins, and there was actually a whale that went by a couple weeks ago.
However, many have shown an un-Americanly blasé attitude towards new manatee co-competitors, even those with dangerously entrepreneurial aspirations. Prickly backlashes nevertheless abound, spurred by pale white vigilante groups and the virulent sermons of humanist preachers. I spoke with Jason Winton, a marine underbiologist at Jamaica University's Manatee Desalination Laboratory, about the aftermath of the most recent hate crime.
She was found around Houston Key. They called us, say that there's this young man swimming around the key. On her face she had scars.
Winton says the body count only continues to rise.
2012 has been the worst year up to date. We had 22 deaths last year. Many were undetermined due to decomposition state. As it is, 22 is a lot of manatee for us to have dead.
Enigmatic manatee connoisseur Dale Mabry believes that the chief problem is one of resource misuse. Milk supplies in manatee-dominated regions have reached their lowest level since citywide public milk showers were suspended late last year.
Manatee consumes a huge amount of milk, a gallon or more a day of very concentrated milk. They vary from one to another depending on the size and the amount they consume, but roughly $7,000 Belize.
Jason Winton says that this is because an unpredictable population size is difficult to predict. Winton insists that while he's not pro-extermination, he is nevertheless policy-minded.
With the population that we do have, it's a high population in this part of the world, but that number isn't a stable number now.
Now, with irate upstate land cow farmers beginning to tune their pitchforks, the mayor of English New York has said that while what with time being linear, what's done cannot be undone, what's doable for future what have you must be rigorously assessed and that sort of thing.
I feel that we have to tighten up. But what's done in the past is done, so I don't think we can do too much about that, and that's something we have to live with. But I think we have to learn lessons from that, and yes, I think we have to scrutinise far more carefully and be much more selective as a result of that, obviously.
But though here in a horrible city like New York, things may seem a bleak, desiccated tundra of futility and angst, back in Florida, sunshine-dappled lawmakers believe there may yet be small, crusting flakes of what, if you squint hard, resembles hope.
It's a bird. It's a man. It's a lovely girl. It's Florida.
Florida has long haunted the American nightmare in a most suggestive way, hanging limply beneath us but covered audaciously in flamingos. Yet unexpectedly, it is Florida itself that may have clumsily blundered the most progressive compromise, or mana compromise, amid the present crisis. With its so-called one-state solution, Florida has seamlessly integrated both the manatee and human electorates, to the point where it is functionally impossible to distinguish a bulbous loafing manatee from an ordinary Floridian. I talked to the state's governor, who said the experiment is proof of something or other.
The one-state solution has come to have a very important, a central role, but it's still important to know the one-state solution is referred to, it's discussed as if it's a nuclear bomb.
Yet more gutless policymakers concerned with manatee prevention still face a stark dilemma when it comes to the hapless numbskulled sea beasts. You can't offshore them, for that's exactly what they want. You can't feed them, for they only grow larger. And you certainly can't dissuade them, for they don't comprehend fundamental principles of reason or even simple English syntax. So we find ourselves stuck. While for now manatee children and human children can be safely distinguished by weight, that growth may become untenable as the entire world slowly congeals into a single miles-wide manatee. Back beneath the waters, none of the manatees I spoke with had strong opinions on any of the wider politics. For them, a life of grazing, roly-poliness, and awkward lovemaking is good enough to get by on at the moment. Empires may come and go, but manatees just sit around. From the Manatee Fact Podcast newsroom on the Gulf Coast, I've been Nathan Robinson.